Hello and welcome to Betfair's AFL season previews. Today we're on to Richmond. Daz, Richmond are going to be a very interesting team in 2023.
Yeah, they certainly are. The numbers from last season paint a pretty good picture for them, and of course they get Taranto and Hopper from the Giants in the off-season. So I think the reports of their demise are a bit exaggerated. I think they're right in the mix again.
Well, you could be worried with some of the list departures. There was Shane Edwards, Kane Lambert, Josh Caddy, all premiership players. But in comes Jacob Hopper and Tim Taranto. Wow, it's going to be an exciting year for the Richmond faithful. Yeah,
obviously thin in the draft, but that's because they gave a lot of those picks away to the Giants. But they get two real top-end midfielders. You also factor in Dustin Martin, hardly played. So they'll obviously get him back into the fold as well. Plus, they've already got a couple of good young kids. So, yeah, to get two borderline elite midfielders, sort of elite or very close to it, into a side that only lost 4 games after round 6 last year. So they were one of the best sides in the competition over the last 5 months of the year. They're only going to get better, I would think.
Dimmer's going to be a happy man all year, hopefully, at Punt Road. Daz, you've crunched the numbers. Tell us who you think is going to be the breakout player this year for the Richmond Tigers.
Well, Noah Cumberland, after so he was the sub in round 11, played his first minutes in round 17, kicked 19 goals in the last 8 games, kicked 5 against Brisbane at the MCG. Only Tom Lynch, his teammate, kicked more goals after that point than him. So for the Tigers, a lot of talk around what happens when Jack Riewoldt retires. We know he's getting towards the end. Well, I reckon Noah Cumberland will replace him as number 2 forward by the end of the season behind Tom Lynch.
And you've got a best and fairest, Smokey, for you that I agree with, but tell us what you think.
Yeah, well, Daniel Rioli started as a small forward, but last year he was released off the halfback flank and finished second in the best and fairest. He averaged 21 possessions a game, still kicked 10 goals for the year. I think he'll only get better. Obviously, it's going to be hard to go past someone like Shea Bolton or a fit Prestia or even Short, who's won a best and fairest before, or Lynch, but yeah, I think Rioli, if he plays every game, the amount of ball he gets and how well he uses it, he's a big chance.
100% agreed, Daz. And hopefully you're giving a good push to Richmond. I think you will. What do you think about this season?
Well, after that round 6, they were 2-4, started badly. They went 11-4-1 for the rest of the year. And their 4 losses, they lost to Geelong at the MCG by 2 points. And of course, Dion Prestia got knocked out in that game. And they won the flag. They lost to Sydney at the SCG by a kick. They made the grand final. They got knocked out in an elimination final by Brisbane, losing by 2 points. And they lost to North Melbourne by 4 points, but kicked 11 goals, 24 in that game. So obviously to lose to the bottom side wouldn't please them, but they had plenty of chances in front of goal. So only the really good sides beat them, or when they had a bad day in front of goal. So if you look at all of that, it puts them right in the mix. The only concerning stat for them is that in the last 4 years, they've got slightly worse defensively, ranked 2nd, 3rd, 7th, 8th. They just have to shore that up a little bit. Obviously, you can't win the flag. Another one for you, no side's won the flag in the last 30 years. It's not ranked top 4 defensively. So that's one thing they've got to get back to.
Wow, that's a great stat, Daz. And they're an interesting betting proposition, especially on the exchange. What are your thoughts on a betting strategy for Richmond?
I think from round 6 onwards last year, they were in the top 4 sides, probably in the competition on most stats, and I think that's a good play. They're only going to get better, so I'd be thinking the Tigers are a definite top 4 chance this year.
Well, we'll definitely be watching the Tigers very closely. If you want to have a look at the odds, check out the Betfair Exchange, betfair.com.au. That's all we've got time for on our season preview for Richmond, but check out the Hub for more season previews to come.
Gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-858-858.